Robert, hello. Thank you so much for being with us today. Nice to see everybody.
Thanks, Jamie.
So you work at Prudential Financial, but you kind of had a cooler job before, working for the NFL. And I wanted to ask, what do you see as the difference between coaching and managing? Are they essentially the same thing, or are they different?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me. This is exciting to be able to come and speak to this group. And yes, I am at Prudential Financial, and I've spent most of my career in financial services, but did do a bit of a career detour to work in the business of sports and entertainment. I was the head of HR at the NFL for about 9 seasons. And one of the things that I was passionate about at the NFL was coaching. I saw world-class coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, really make a difference on the field with the power of coaching, and wanted to be able to impart that power of coaching and bring that to Prudential. So we've actually been doing a lot of work to democratize access to coaching and leveraging and working to bring the power of coaching to our employees at scale. And coaching really inspires others to be the best version of themselves and to be the best possible versions of their teams. And we've invested our resources, time, energy, trying to make sure that we're bringing this concept of coaching, which goes beyond just tactical management. It's really more inspired leadership that helps people be the best versions of themselves.
Because in most companies, coaching is like an elite service just for maybe the C-suite.
You know, when I showed up at Prudential, we were certainly doing coaching, but coaching typically ended up being for more senior level managers. And I thought there was an opportunity to democratize coaching and bring it down to other levels in the organization. So we've started to do coaching for mid-level managers, aspiring mid-level managers. We're doing these coaching circles, which have had tremendous effect in the past year. We've been able to coach up hundreds of employees, and we're trying to push those numbers even further to get to the point where we can say we are coaching thousands of our colleagues. So this is something that we continue to lean into.
Okay, so you have about 40,000 employees, and you're at hundreds, hoping to get into thousands. Could you just give us a sense of how it works? I mean, are you bringing in professional coaches? Is it people in their own department? Like, so that people could take away, like, how do you actually do it?
Yeah, you know, we actually presented at the Society of Industrial and Organizational Psychologists not too long ago, and there's a lot of interest in how we approach this. We decided to bootstrap this, so we leveraged a lot of our HR colleagues. We coached them up to be coaches. We gave them additional training and development and resources, and they're leading coaching circles. They each have a circle of about 8 employees. The employees are cross-functional from different parts of our business. And one of the wonderful things about these coaching circles is that these cadres learn with and from one another, and these cohorts really end up being very tight and rely on each other after they've experienced this coaching circle. So we're excited that we've done more with less, and we've been able to scale this concept up. And there's a lot of interest in being able to lean into this as a best practice.
So they learn from the coach, from each other, someone they could call. I'm in this situation,
It's that phone a friend.
Got it.
You can phone the person who coached you up as a formal coach. You can phone the members of your coaching cadre, and we're all here to take that rising tide lifts all boats approach.
Great. I want to talk about hiring right now. We've moved to a world where, in a way, anyone could get a job. It's not just who you know, because you could apply online. But it seems to me it's become a very soul-crushing process. People sit there, they find job boards, LinkedIn, they apply. They work so hard on cover letters, no response. Maybe if they get a response, they have to go through 17 hoops, take tests, then they get ghosted. So is the hiring process right now in corporate America, is it working? Is it broken? How do you see it?
Yeah, Jamie, that's a great question. I would say that the wonderful thing about online applications is that it democratizes access to opportunities. We certainly use a lot of the online job boards to post our positions, and it's great that we're able to get a really wide number of candidates looking at our positions. The challenge relative to online applications is that for us, we're approaching close to 200 applications for positions. So just by virtue of looking at the math, it ends up being relatively challenging when you think about the individuals trying to get a job if they are one of 200 applications for a specific position. So one of the things that we're certainly encouraging candidates to do is to set notifications with these online applications so that they can quickly find opportunities that match up relative to what they're looking for.
What did you say? Send notifications?
Notification. So you can set a notification based on certain parameters to flag when there's an opening that matches your criteria so that you could be first in the queue, if you will.
I see, to get your application in quickly.
And we also tell candidates to make sure that they continue to look out for job fairs and events. It's great that we leverage online applications, but we also have a recruiting team that goes out to recruiting events and recruiting fairs. So online is not the only way to engage us as an applicant that's looking for an opportunity. It's a both and.
And is there any tricks of the trade to getting noticed online? Is it part of it is just getting there first, or?
First mover advantage, I would say that is a thing, so don't wait, and that's why the importance of those notifications ends up being really important. You want to find out right when that job is posted or pretty close to it so that you could be first in the queue. So recruiters are continually looking at what's coming in, but I think there's always an advantage of being able to identify those opportunities early on.
Do you actually end up hiring people you find online?
We absolutely do. It continues to be an important source of candidates that we're investing in.
Okay. So in terms of the job market right now, it seems like there's two narratives out there, and I'd be interested in what the audience thinks, because on the one hand you read, oh, it's such a tight labor market, you can't find people for jobs, the baby boomers are retiring, people have more preferences, it's, Elon Musk is like fathering children to try to like populate the workforce. And then you see another narrative, which is AI is like climbing up the job totem pole, taking up replacing more and more jobs, and none of us are going to have any work to do. So which is it? Is it a really like good labor market for workers, or is it like a kind of bleak labor market for workers?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of change. So like all employers, we were actively looking at turnover numbers over the Great Resignation. And a year ago, our turnover numbers were at an all-time high.
Your turnover numbers?
Our turnover numbers. Employees were seeking out other opportunities. They were deciding to do other things in the midst of the pandemic, the midst of the Great Resignation. What we've seen over the course of the past year and change, is that those turnover numbers have consistently come down. So there's not as much movement in the labor market as we had previously seen. I think there's some settling that we're starting to see play out. Relative to AI, is AI going to be the replacer of jobs? I think what's going to play out is that we're going to continue to get our arms around this new technology. And what we're going to find is that there's more of an emphasis on talent that can work with this technology. I think the technology is going to become an enabler, and there are going to be opportunities for us to make sure that from a talent perspective, we're identifying, we're developing talent that has the capabilities to continue to leverage and work with this technology.
So I think that also came up in the panel just before, like you get with the program on AI and be the one who uses it. So the last year, there's been a lot of talk about efficiency, and AI is part of that. Oh, computers can do jobs, and you see Mark Zuckerberg year of efficiency, and like, let's flatten things out. So what's at Prudential, if someone leaves now, do you say to yourself, like, do we really need to even fill this job? Like maybe we can find a way to spread it out among other people, or have computers take more care of it, or are you still like basically filling your openings?
Yeah, Jamie, that's a great question. And I'd love to just zoom out for a minute, because for us at Prudential, we are incredibly focused on our clients and on our customers. And for us to be a very customer-centric organization, it's really important that we continue to evolve our organization and continue to find opportunities to more efficiently, more effectively meet the needs of our customers. And there are a lot of different levers that we can pull in the spirit of being more efficient. Sometimes the levers are technology, and we continue to leverage new technology to service our clients. Sometimes it's looking at other opportunities from a spend perspective. Sometimes it's looking at our organizational structure to make sure that we continue to evolve and be more nimble as an organization. So all of those levers are important to us in the context of being able to more effectively serve our clients. The other thing that I would say is really important is making sure that not only are we focusing on being efficient, but we continue to focus on skills and making sure that our employees have those forward-looking skills to meet the needs of our customers.
I want to come back to skills in 1 second, but just coming back to nimble, definitely in tech, there's a view that there got to be too many layers of management. And the tech companies seem to be trying to winnow out those layers. Do you feel the same thing happen in financial services? Like it just got like this hiring, like arms race?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an arms race, but I would say that we're always looking for better, smarter ways to meet the needs of our customers. And organization design is certainly one of those levers, but there are a lot of different levers, all in the spirit of being able to more effectively meet the needs of our customers. So that's one lever to pull, yes, for sure,
Yeah.
but that's not the only one.
Yeah, I think an interesting thing that will come up in the workplace in the years ahead is, are there going to be fewer opportunities for promotion if companies are trying to have a flatter structure?
I would say that there are always going to be opportunities to learn and grow and develop and acquire new skills. And we really have been taking a skills-first approach as we think about really what's going to be the currency of the future for our employees. And that is going to be acquiring new skills that can help them to grow and to learn and develop. And if you grow and learn and develop, you can continue to progress in your career. So those skills really are the catalyst for being able to continue to propel your career forward.
And you have a talent marketplace. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
We do. So our talent marketplace is a digital destination for our employees to find content, to reskill, to upskill, and to connect to opportunities. In fact, we were actually a first mover when it comes to talent marketplaces. We've had our talent marketplace in effect since 2019. And there are a lot of companies now that are just starting to get into the talent marketplace space. We developed ours internally, and this is a talent marketplace that we continue to make even better. We've got a wonderful technology organization that spends a lot of time thinking about the user experience with our talent marketplace. We want to make sure that
employee, right?
The employee has an easy experience navigating, an easy experience identifying learning content, an easy experience identifying new opportunities. Sometimes those opportunities are roles, sometimes those opportunities are gigs, but all of that resides on our talent marketplace, which we think is a wonderful way to give our employees that opportunity to continue to learn and grow and to develop.
And how much of it is like training programs? Is that part of that too?
A good amount of our content is training because we do emphasize learning, upskilling, and reskilling. So our talent marketplace has been designed to be that go-to destination. In fact, not too long ago, I was meeting with a colleague who wanted to share his story with me. He came in as a finance professional and talked about how through the talent marketplace, he was able to identify an opportunity to leverage his skills for a role in compliance, had been very successful in compliance, again, used the talent marketplace to identify where his skills could be plugged in different parts of the organization, and was starting to look at program management opportunities, all because of what he had sourced through our talent marketplace. And that was just one example of somebody that leveraged the talent marketplace to really be an important ingredient in his overall career journey. And that career journey did include opportunities for growth and promotions, as you were talking about a little bit earlier, all of which was basically made possible by continuing to acquire and develop new and important skills.
Right, got it. I said I was going to ask the audience, and I do want to ask them, in terms of the labor market, how many of you feel it's a really tight labor market, it's really hard to find people, keep people? That's curtain A. And how many of you feel it's becoming more of an employer's market? So curtain A. What? It's a tight market, hard to find people. It's becoming more of an employer's market. More people feel it's tilting in that direction.
Yeah, I would say that it is still an environment where there's an emphasis on finding the best talent. From a talent perspective, our talent strategy is to make sure that we've got the right talent in the right roles with the right skills. And we certainly focus a lot on developing our own internal talent with things like the talent marketplace. But there are also times when we need to go out externally into the marketplace to find and acquire talent. And we are very discerning when it comes to being able to find talent. Sometimes it takes a while to make sure that we get the right match because skills continue to evolve, and we want to make sure that we are doing our appropriate due diligence. So it's a combination for us.
Right. I mean, you're a very old company, and yet continuously evolving. You want to just talk about that? You know, it's like almost 150 years old.
I'm really excited that Prudential is a company that's 150 years old, or almost 150 years. We are going to be celebrating our 150-year anniversary next year. And you don't get to be a 150-year-old company without a couple of things. First and foremost, there's got to be that focus on customers and clients. And we, at our core, are very much focused on being a leader in investments, insurance, and retirement, and meeting the needs of our customers and clients in those respective areas. But I would also say that you don't get to be a 150-year-old company without wonderful employees that are continually reskilling and upskilling and there for the transformation. In fact, when we talk about continuing to evolve as an organization, our employees and the skills journey goes hand in hand with talking about how we are evolving as a company. So I get really excited as a talent leader in that our employee story, our skill story, is very much part of us being an organization that is 150 years old and positioning ourselves for the next 150 years.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much for being here. It's a great conversation.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.